Good evening, happy Tuesday, and welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I really need to tell you, but I'm going to anyway. It's freaking Georgia week. And if this week doesn't get your blood boiling as an Alabama fan, as a football fan, then tune into some knitting show because you're in the wrong place because we're here for some damn Alabama, Georgia football, and the Avengers are here to talk about it on this Tuesday night. We got a jam-packed show for you. As always, I have an all-star panel surrounding me. The looks of the whole program, the man behind the recruiting machine, the big brother of the James family, Dan. How you doing on this Tuesday evening, sir?
Hey man, I am excited. I'm pumped. I'm ready for this Saturday, man. You know, I'm behind enemy lines right now. So hey, this is what my calendar year. This is the penultimate time right here of a calendar year. So everything points to Saturday. How the rest of my year will go.
Because that's what it's all about. Being in Georgia, I know it takes it to a different level for you. But speaking of a different level and a man that always takes it to the next level, Van, how are you doing this week, sir?
Man, anxious. I'm ready to see which Alabama team shows up, see if we're going to build from what we've been seeing versus what we saw at the beginning of the year. Can't wait to play. I love watching us play Georgia. It seems like we play our best against Georgia. You know, two great icons of football coming together. Man, what's not to love about it? So yeah, I'm really excited to see this game this Saturday.
Yeah, and like you said, questions to be answered. They're going to be answered Saturday, and we're going to talk about a lot of them tonight. And a man that I know, he loves his Alabama football every Saturday of the year, but it's these Saturdays that really get this man's blood going. Lou, how are you doing? It's George week, brother.
You know what? It's an absolute meeting of the Titans, and if you can't get down with that, you're just not a college football fan. Alabama probably is one of the biggest games of the year when it comes to when we go down to Athens, especially in this situation. And not just Alabama football this weekend, guys. This is probably the best weekend you're going to see in college football, period, with a top 10 matchup, Georgia, Alabama, and some other ones that are going to be kicking off. Man, it's going to be a great weekend. But I could tell you this. We're going to show them dogs something. In turn, we're going to show the country something. And you know what? We got an action-packed show, and I can't wait to get ready to get into it. Patty, let's get it on.
Lou, you nailed it. Look, I'm the conductor of this ship. I'm Daniel Petty, and like Lou said, man, before we get to Alabama, Georgia, between the hedges and Athens, we got a full platter of football. So, guys, look, we love it all. So we'll eat all the appetizers before the main course in Athens. But buckle up. Let's go. Like Lou said, we got a full show. We are going to tackle that elephant in the room, and can Bama get the run game going in Athens? Whew, big questions. Also, man, we're going to scout Georgia. We're going to talk a little Georgia football, tell where we might have the advantage against Georgia Saturday night. Also, big one. Who needs to step up Saturday? I think we all could have a different take on this, and these are the moments as an Alabama fan where when you win big games like this, it is someone, and it's usually someone unexpected that makes that Daniel Moore type play, right? And, man, we're going to follow it up with something that my man Van almost touched on last week, and was like, hold on, Van, we're really going to dive in on this because I'll be honest, talked a little bit about it if you caught the earlier show. I think there's two huge keys to the game. And one of them is the linebacking core at the University of Alabama. How do they stand up to the three-headed punch that's about to come their way from this Georgia physical offense? We're going to talk about this Alabama linebacking core and what they have to do, and do they have the ability to show up and show out in Athens. But before we show up and show out in Athens, we got to give a little love to people that keep the lights on here at the Final Whistle. And you better show up in Athens with this deal, and that is the title towel. There's a wave rising in the south, and it's not the ocean. It's the title towel, the ultimate symbol of Bama power, brought to you by WhitWillSports.com. Whether you're in Bryant-Denny or headed between the hedges or repping from your living room, the title towel brings the heat. Crimson, bold, unapologetically Alabama. And right now, you can wave yours for less. Use the promo code WHISTLE at the checkout and get 20% off at whitwillsports.com. Join the wave, wave the power, get your title towel today at whitwillsports.com. Wait no longer. We love you, Whitwill. Get that title towel and take it to Athens with you today. But guys, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. It's Georgia week. Let's hop right in it. Elephant in the room. Jam Miller's back. The running game, what are we averaging? 123 a game right now, which is around 102nd in the country. Georgia's given up defensively 80 yards rushing a game. Elephant in the room, guys. Can Alabama, behind this offensive line, establish enough of a running game? Yeah, I mean, you got to get something going, right? Can they get it going in Athens? Let's start it off, Dan, right next to me. I'd like to keep it simple and do it clockwork.
Okay, yeah. Well, historically, the running game didn't really come into effect until like the second half of the Bama Georgia matchup. So that's where it's gonna matter. In the second half, can we, take chunk plays, move the ball, stay ahead of the chains. That's when it's gonna matter. I expect both offenses to kind of open it up a little bit in the first half, but we'll get more into that. But definitely Alabama's going to need, but this is not the type of game where I think is suited for Kevin Riley. He's not the type of back that tends to have success against Georgia. You need the bigger backs. So I'm looking more at, Jam Miller couldn't come back at a better time. So this is a Richard Young type game, so we shall see, so we're going to have to be physical. We can't dance in the backfield. We just, 3 yard, 2 yard, take what the defense gives us or take what we get, so we got to take shots downfield, but we'll get more into that later.
You said kind of right, man. This is, and y'all all alluded to it, this is a Titan fight, and that's where you need the big guys. So you mentioned it, Dan. Jam Miller's back. Richard Young, can he step up and be the physical back we need him to be between the tackles in this game? So that's it, man. With Jam coming back, do you think Bama can establish the run against this nasty Georgia front seven?
Well, to say we've been consistent and really inefficient this year running the ball be an understatement. There doesn't seem to be a huge jump in effectiveness no matter who has toted the rock this year. Adding Michael Carroll to the lineup will give this unit more physicality and nastiness. I know that much. I've seen that out of him in Wisconsin. And getting Jam Miller back, like you said, you get veteran leadership. You get an aggressive running style. He's a fantastic pass blocker. And then his overall skill set is just going to help reestablish running the ball. But that being said, we aren't the same offense we were in the past either. I mean, our head coach and OC, they play a different game, a different style. And I truly believe the pass will be the most focused on aspect of their offense as long as they're there. So, in my opinion, it's time to get creative if you're Ryan Grubb. And, the age-old question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, in these terms, it would be, do you use the pass to open up the run or run to open up the pass? And I think you use the pass to open up the run. We've seen Florida do it back in the 90s a little bit, with the fun and gun offense. And, in terms of offensive execution, you try to get the ball out fast, use a combination of screens and short yardage passes, get the ball out in space and allow your athletes a chance to make more out of it. You try to spread them out horizontally a little bit. And then you try to establish some intermediate and deep shots in there, pepper them with some of that like Tennessee did 2 weeks ago. And then you've got them on their heels. They're playing vertically a little bit. You get some quick timing, based routes, pull the trigger quick if you're the quarterback. Keep the DBs on their heels and the linebackers. They're going to be hesitant to stack the box. So, it's a numbers game in football. And the least amount of guys you got to block up front,
the better off, the more push you should be able to get. So, if we can catch their linebackers guessing, trying to interrupt the timing in the pass game, try to catch them flat-footed or backpedaling a little bit, we can catch them when we're running the ball at the second level and get them out of the play, open up some chunks. So, yeah, I think it's important to establish it, but I don't think we're going to be trying to establish it in ways we've seen in the past.
All right, I'm going to spin it the same but a little different here, Lou. Can we establish a run, and how important is it that we do? And I'm going to preface it with this. 2 weeks ago, when Georgia went to Knoxville, Tennessee only rushed for 125 yards, and they were a field goal away from beating them and kind of controlled the game through there, right? Aguilar was 17-17 in the first quarter. He ended up with 375 yards passing. So, answer, can we establish the run, but how important or how much do we need to, Lou?
This is a very interesting question. I think the light needs to be shown on what our offense is truly doing. We have run the ball 87 times this year. We've only passed it 76.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the fact that Grubb has kept the playbook, the offensive playbook, for lack of a better word, vanilla, I think that's going to speak volumes, because you can't give good defensive teams your playbook. And I think Ryan Grubb has done a great job of not having to utilize the bulk of what we're going to run this season. And I think they're going to open it up against Georgia. However, I think with this Georgia team specifically, I think they are very, very susceptible to the run. I think they can be beat. They're not the same team that Georgia's been putting out these last couple seasons. They don't have the depth in the road graders that they've had the last couple seasons. And I think our three inside warriors will eventually wear down, if not push their defensive line, if not buoy them the whole game. And that's the thing. I think Ryan Grubb's going to get a good sense of what he's got going on before he gets set into whatever offense he's going to run. Because if he feels that we can just pound Georgia for 4 quarters, because we got 5 running backs, if he feels that we can pound Georgia, I fully believe we'll see a run-heavy game. I'm not saying we're not going to pass the ball, because we're still going to pass the ball, because that's what the Alabama offense is. But I truly think it's going to be dependent on however Ryan Grubb feels best we can attack Georgia early. Now, whether that's going to be the pass or the run, it's to be here nor there. We don't know yet. But I do think there is an option about what he's going to do. I don't think there's a set game plan. I think he's going to test the waters early. If, like, off rip, if we start breaking them and we hit them for 2 good 8-yard and then a 15-yard, I think we're going to probably stay. We'll see him probably stay with the run, because if Georgia doesn't have the football, then they can't score the football. And games that Alabama has beat Georgia in, we have dominated time of possession. And you got to think that's something that's going through Ryan Grubb's head right now. Gunnar Stockton can't score the football if he doesn't have the damn football. And if we can get a push, we can get 5-6 yards per carry on Georgia. If we can hang 85 yards in them in the first half on the ground, that's going to be a punch to the face. That'll be a punch to the face, and I don't know if they're going to be able to recover from that, because we have an offense that they don't want to get in a shootout with. They're not going to – if they're down, they don't have the offense to deal with if Ty Simpson wants to push the ball down the field, because we have a different offense this year. It's not quarterback run heavy. He does actually give it to our running backs to do their thing, and we're getting our star back. And if you've heard Ty Simpson talk about him, he's been running like a crazy madman, and Jam loves performing against Georgia. So I think we established the run. I think it's important, and I think we do it.
So if we do establish a run, and like you alluded to out of the gate, Dan, you got Jam coming back. And Lou just said Ty's talked highly of how Jam's looked in practice this week. Who do you expect to be that bell cow Saturday? Do you expect it to be Jam coming out of the injury, or do you expect, Riley's look good, or do you expect it to be someone like Young?
We shall see, but I would expect, if we're going to hit him in the mouth, have to be somebody like Richard Young, Daniel Hill.
Well, and let me throw this at you, though, guys. If there's a kryptonite, Van, to Kirby's defense, what has it been?
I mean, in my opinion, mobile quarterback.
Mobile quarterback. So when we talk about Bama establishing the run, it doesn't necessarily – Ty, he hasn't done it so much yet, but he has shown the ability to make plays with his legs. Mm-hmm. I think Ty could be an X factor with his legs Saturday night. And again, if there's been one kryptonite to Kirby's defense, it's been a quarterback that can get to the edge. You can be mobile. It can make his defense have to, that's playing man have to turn around and look and then open up some open slots to what we know is a loaded Bama receiving corps. So I don't know. I think Ty may play into the run Saturday night as well. Thoughts? I'll let anybody jump on this.
I definitely think you might see a lot more RPO situational stuff. And, you keep them guessing and they can't singularly focus on one thing. And, you take them out of their game pretty quickly. Now they adjust well. We seen it against Tennessee, second half, beginning of the end of the first half and going into the second half, they made some key adjustments. They stepped up. I mean, they're a great football team. I don't have to tell anybody that, but yeah, the RPO could definitely play a factor into this. And I think, you take the stable running backs we got, Ty's ability to stretch the field a little bit with his legs. He's a great passer. And then them talented wide receivers, and you just keep them guessing. I mean, it could be a long night for any football team dealing with all that. So if it's used correctly, and I trust Ryan Grubb to use it correctly, yeah, I think his mobility played big time into this game.
All right. Anything else, Lou? Any final words on this the Bama run game? Well, let's hop right to it, man. We know what Bama's got. We're about as good as it comes on that Bama depth chart here at the final whistle. Let's talk about a little bit of that Bulldog scouting report. It's no secret that Kirby plays the recruiting game as well as any of them. He don't play the keep them out of jail game as well as any of them, but he does get the guys to campus. So let's talk a little Bulldog scouting report. I'm going to throw this one up. We're going to do a little different. We want to talk offense, defense, special teams, X factor, coach, and whatnot. Who wants to take offense? Who's been doing the scouting on that Georgia offense? Talking about Lucky and Delp at the tight ends, the three-headed monster, Frazier, and this freshman at number 33. I had his name earlier. I know.
Elias Williams.
Yeah, Williams kid.
I'll talk efficiency. I look at the efficiency overall. Right. I could talk the team.
Yeah, let's talk offensive efficiency. The players, what we got to worry about, Dan.
Yeah, we're very similar offensively. Both of us have been kind of subpar. Both teams have been subpar on third downs. I look at the money down, which is third down efficiency. I think Georgia is we're both at 45%. Georgia 21 or 46, but they're 5 of 5 on fourth down. So they will go for it. And they've been going for it with success on fourth down if it's close, so they're not afraid. And we're also 45% on third downs, but we're 5 of 9 on fourth down. I did not realize that we've gone for it 9 times on fourth down already. So both teams are willing to, to sit the punter down on fourth down. So and that's what this game is going to come down to. It's going to come down to third down efficiency, turnovers, and penalties. So, we win 2 out of 3 of those, and I think we'll be fine. But, that's what I'll be looking at and watching how we perform on money downs, and whoever more than likely whoever loses the turnover battle is going to lose the game. Simple as that.
Well, take that step further, and Dan made a good point there. About the third down efficiency, man. one of the things that caught my eye, and look, we go back to, I mean, the most in the recent and biggest game was that Georgia Tennessee game. Again, because going into that game, a lot of the questions was on Stockton. Is he just a game manager? Is he just this normal run of the mill Georgia quarterback? And the first play, he goes right at the corners for Tennessee. Then he hits the big dime late in the game in the end zone. But the bigger thing I caught was that we talk about third down efficiency. You know, one of the things our defense has struggled with is I just blamed it on Kirby. Hell, Alabama mobile quarterbacks have been the kryptonite. I wouldn't say Stockton's mobile, but is it a concern how many plays he made on third down with his legs that were just kind of those get it done, keep the chain moving plays?
Right. I think this is a situation where we got to force him to throw the ball downfield. We're gonna see a lot of little slip screens, a lot of tight end leaks, misdirection. They're gonna give him quick, easy throws. So we need to be willing to sit on it, force him to push the ball downfield. And I think one matchup that Georgia's going to try to expose is they're going to try to get Kobe Young on Xavier Brown. They're going to try to take advantage of his size and physicality. And he's going to make safe throws to the outside. He's not going to push the ball over the middle. He's going to make safe throws to the outside. We get one-on-one matchups. He's going to throw the 50-50 ball to Kobe Young. And he's going to try to, when he gets that matchup with Xavier Brown, that's a shot I expect them to take.
Man, I know you, when we say film study for guys like, I know you've watched a lot of Tennessee and Georgia and paid attention. When scouting them, what's something you see a week, what's your scouting report on the Dogs? Where's a chance that Bama can get them, or where's a concern for you? Like, man, we may be in trouble here.
Well, one of the things that stands out to me is you'd mentioned Connor Stockton's ability to get out of the pocket and make some plays with his legs, something that you don't see a lot from Georgia in previous years at the quarterback spot. It's just another dynamic they can add. But I thought he mentally grew up against Tennessee. He made the plays he needed to play. He wasn't perfect by any stretch, but when they were down, it didn't rattle him. And, he showed some maturity in that ball game. So, I mean, he earned a lot of respect from me. We knew he was a talented guy. He wouldn't be playing quarterback at Georgia, but that facing adversity like that in an SEC game against Tennessee, of all people, I mean, good football team themselves, he showed a lot to me right there. You mentioned the three-headed snake at running back they've got going on. And then, you've got that McCrae's kid who's emerging as a goal line back and seems to be hard to deal with inside the five. So, they got a lot of things going on for them right now, but they've got a weakness too on the offense, and that's that offensive line. More specifically, the right side of that offensive line. You could say we've got the same kinks in our armor at times. The guard and tackle has been a rotating number. They've had injuries. They've just had bad play, and they're moving pieces around right now, similar to what we've been doing. And so, that's definitely something we're going to need to try to exploit. We know they love to use their tight ends, especially putting them in the seam some. They'll move them around. But overall, I mean, they're going to try to establish the run. That's what Georgia does. They just got jumped on early and got behind against Tennessee. So we'll see what their approach is depending on how our offense is handling their defense. But, yeah, I think Stockton played a hell of a ball game the other night. I mean, he earned my respect. He stepped up when he was needed. So they've got a good offense. They just, Dan talked about the third down efficiency and this and that. I mean, he said it well. I mean, they're still trying to figure some things out just like us. I mean, they really are. So they're not perfect. They're a great football team, one of the best teams in the country, but they're definitely not perfect.
No, and I think you're right. And you mentioned another part. Tennessee popped them, and that's what I want you to talk about, Lou. Georgia and Kirby, rightfully so, are known for a damn good defense, one that comes at you, hits you strong, fast defensive front, linebackers that are vertical, safeties that can play man up, and corners that can play man up, and safeties that'll knock your dick in the dirt. But we watched a Tennessee team get to that secondary. Tell me about this Georgia defense. Is that a nod to Tennessee's offense being that good? Is Georgia's secondary gettable? What have you seen in this defense, Lou?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie here. I'm not gonna take anything from that Tennessee game because it's Tennessee, and we're gonna move on that. But if we're gonna talk about how the Georgia can actually be attacked this season, I don't think they don't have the depth or the athlete to out athlete people this year. They don't have the big name or the talented, the uber talented corners, the shutdown corners that they've had. They don't have the scary safeties that are able to track the football all around the field. And they definitely don't have the road graders up front that are just eating offensive lines. Now, I said it a little bit in the first segment, but I think this defense is very, very susceptible in the middle of the field because the fact that we have a center that's probably, in my opinion, the best center in the country, and he's a brawler. This is a game that he is going to love. He's talked about wanting to play Georgia again. I think he's going to be a big key to why this Alabama offense is very successful in the trenches. I think that when you look at Georgia's defense as a whole, they're not able to attack in so many different ways. So I'm going to say something that's going to be true for both sides of the football. It's going to apply to Alabama on both sides of the football. It's called preparation. We hear these players talk about it all the time, but in this situation with this Georgia team, it's going to be so important because this Georgia team can't disguise what they're doing like they've been doing in the past. They don't have a bunch of different players that can do different things. They have certain players that can do certain things in certain situations of the game. Now, if these players on both sides of our team pay attention to that, they'll be able to defend Georgia better than they've ever been able to defend Georgia before. Because when certain running backs are on the field, they're doing one thing. When other running backs are on the field, they're doing another thing. They don't have just these guys that can do everything. They're not as talented. Like the transfer portal didn't just hit us. It helped dampen college football's depth as a whole. We were just fortunate not to lose anybody in the transfer portal. Georgia got gutted, especially when it comes to their skill positions. Wide receiver and DB. They don't have a lot of depth at either. So they also can't afford injuries. And we have the quarterback that can actually push the ball down the field. And an offensive coordinator that's not just going to utilize one receiver, two receivers. He's going to utilize the whole room. He's going to push the tight ends out there, and he's going to get the running backs involved, which I think that's where we hurt Georgia the most. Jam Miller out of the backfield a couple of years ago. We've seen it before. That little dump off to the running back, they're never paying attention because they're always scared about what we're going to do on the back end. And this season, we have more weapons than just a Ryan Williams and a Jeremy Bernard. We got Isaiah Horton. We got Lottie Brooks. You know, we got other guys that can push the ball down the field that are big playmakers. And I think they're going to be more concerned about Ty Simpson's arm. You've already heard Kirby talking Ty Simpson up like he's the best quarterback in the NCAA right now. So I think they're going to put more of an emphasis to shut Ty's down the field game, which is going to leave them open in the run game.
Good stuff, Luke. Which brings me this: we're gonna close out the scouting report section. I'm gonna go rapid fire with each of you guys. Which position group does Alabama have the most advantage at? What you think, Dan? Where do we have the best advantage against Georgia?
Position group?
Yeah.
I would say definitely wide receiver. We have the explosive playmakers. I think we have an advantage there. Also, running back. You know, I think we have more depth running out of the running back room. You know, especially with Jam Miller coming back. Right. So and let me say, I think. Yeah, we have the better quarterback. Their numbers are very similar, believe it or not. Both have attempted 89 passes, and Ty has completed 65. Stockton has completed 64. But The difference is Stockton he doesn't push the ball downfield as much. So, so Simpson, has 862 yards. I believe Stockton has what
720.
Yeah. So I think we have an advantage there. That just goes to show we trust our receivers better down the field, our quarterback at least. So we definitely have advantage in those positions. And I'm gonna say still, I think we have an advantage as well on the offensive line. We just talk about the offensive side of the ball.
All right, Dan went. He summoned the ghost of his brother, who was over at the spot, and literally gave about.
I really did.
Is there any other van that Dan did not touch on that Bama has an advantage that you see?
Well, I mean, I think he hit the ones that were the most important, and that don't bother me. Dan's better with words. I'd rather hear Dan talk about it than me. But I wanted to say something.
Bigger than receiver against secondary. Let me say that because I think that's the glaring strength.
I think so too, and the reason I think that they gave up passes, touchdowns of 32, 56, and 72. They give up six passing plays of 16 yards or more in that ball game. That can be exploited if you've got time. And speaking of time, Georgia's D line, well, they're good players, but they don't generate the pressure and get the sacks that Georgia defenses in the past have done. In fact, the defensive line has 0 sacks as of right now. Their pressure's coming from the linebacking core. That's who's getting to the quarterback. I don't think they really want to try to do that against Alabama with the playmakers we got. They can't be loading the box up too much. So I think that's definitely that wide receiver versus their DBs, even our O-line versus their D-line. I think that's going to be a lot to see right there.
I agree, Van.
Lou, anything to add before we head on to the next topic?
Yeah, I said it. I said it when I was talking about it. Our advantage is in the middle.
Mm-hmm. And that's where
Parker Brailsford and Tim Keenan are going to win this damn football game for us.
There you
go. Great call. Tim Keenan could be so huge for this game. All right, guys. Speaking of, and these are the games where, man, let's be real. Like, this is what Daniel Moores are painted for, right? These big games, these big moments. Who needs to have? I'm gonna go that route. I like that route. Who needs to have that Daniel Moore moment for this upset Saturday night in Athens? Lou, let's go counterclockwise. Let's start with you, big guy. Who needs to be the man Saturday night? I think you almost named. I want to see if you go different, but you may have answered this seconds ago.
Well, I formulated this question, so I have to answer how I asked it to myself. And when I say this question means who's has to show out. So it's somebody that doesn't show out on a consistent basis. It has to be someone that no one's talking about on our defense or our offense for that matter. So I think there's one player, well, 2 players in my opinion, but it's depending on how this rotation is. But as of right now, in my opinion, Justin Jefferson has to let his nuts hang during this Georgia football game. Because in my opinion, the dude has not – he's played good football, right? He's played good. But you're an Alabama linebacker, and you haven't had a statement game as an Alabama linebacker. And you're wearing 10. I mean, we already know that Lawson's going to be Lawson. And that's Lawson. But to be the player that we thought Justin Jefferson's going to be, I think his speed, his sideline to sideline, and his physicality, if he shows up and starts thumping those running backs early, starts thumping those tight ends, and lets them know that it's not going to be a comfortable ride across the middle, because eventually they're going to toss it across the middle. And it's probably going to be when Justin Jefferson is in coverage. I just see it happening. if he is being physical from the point of attack from the start of this football game, that's going to set the tone. So that's who I got. I got Justin Jefferson, who needs to show that out.
I literally could not agree more with that statement, Lou. I honestly, that's 100%. If the only way I would divvy any is take the one off and add and talk about the one with just one of those. We need linebackers to play like Alabama linebackers against Georgia.
We got a whole segment for that.
Yeah, but that's what I was about to say. I don't want to say it because that's kind of peeking into the next segment, and we're gonna get there in a second. But it's a big segment. I hate to be that way. I think there's two huge keys to this game, and that's one of them. Van, you are nodding your head. Who needs to show up for this upset, brother?
Well, I was gonna go with Jefferson myself, but I can't put it better than Lou can. So I gotta break the rules right here. I got 5 guys that gotta step up, and they're all offensive.
No, Dan, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm here for
it. Now you're gonna pull a James on a James. Oh yes. My God. Sorry, Dan. I apologize.
Go ahead.
I'm an honorary James. He calls me twin all the time.
That's right.
So I need all 5 offensive linemen to play out of their mind in this ball game.
Okay.
I need all 5 of them to play out of their mind. If we want to establish
6.
the run, if we want, 6. Agreed. We need the tight ends blocking. It doesn't matter. We need guys. We need a clean pocket for that quarterback because he's going into a rowdy Sanford Stadium. I mean, it's a team that's won 33 straight home games. All right. It's a record for Georgia. They don't want Alabama breaking another streak for them. They smell blood in the water. They seen that first game with us, and they think they're better than us. And until we prove them different, I can't disagree. So Alabama's got to, like Lou said, hang their nuts a little bit and go in there with some authority. And it's going to start by being able to establish the run and protecting the quarterback. You've got Ty standing there in a rowdy stadium with a great defense. They're not as good as they have been in the past, but they're well coached. And you're going to go in there and you're going to need to be able to block. All right. So we need to be able to erase what we've seen in earlier parts of this year and reestablish what we are. And it starts in the trenches on both sides of the ball. But for my segment, it's the 5, count the tight end 6, linemen up there blocking. Starts with them.
I think that's a great answer. And you didn't even steal Dan's thunder in doing it. And I do think Van, you said something that made me think about a show I was listening to earlier today, and I really think it's quite genius because if you watch football, and everybody knows what first 12 plays are scripted, right? Both sides. If the script works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it rarely determines the outcome of the game, right? A lot of times a team will score off their script play and not do shit the rest of the game. You're like, oh, well, they were really good at those 12 plays. But what you can get from those 12 plays, don't watch the skill positions on those first 12 plays of the game. For the first 2 or 3 possessions of the game, don't watch anything happening with the ball. Watch the offensive and defensive line. Who wins those battles? Guarantee you is going to tell you who's going to win the game. Forget the script. Look who's winning up front. And so, Van, I think you're dead on. If those big uglies are making a statement, that's how you win football games in these huge games is the offensive and defensive line. Dan, he didn't steal all your thunder. And now the world is your oyster. You've got so many options. We've just got the offensive line and number 10. So who needs to have their Daniel Moore moment in Dan James' mind for Alabama to make your life so much better in the Peach State?
Okay, so I'm going to do he did 5, so I'm going to do 5 on offense, 5 on defense.
Whoa.
I'm just joking.
I was gonna say because I got one more.
Hold on.
Yeah, Luke, give me one more. Cause I got plenty.
I'm Dan James.
That'll actually take some pressure off me. Yeah, do yours.
All right. I'll hit one more guy on defense, just because I feel like this needs to be stated. We've put so much attention on Bray Hubbard this season. His play in the first game, his play in the second game. We've put so much focus on this kid that we have forgotten that we have a whole nother All-American caliber safety who hasn't been playing All-American football. He's also been walking on the field too. So if I'm going to be calling out dudes, I'm calling out number 3 as well as I'm calling out number 10 because they're going to try to expose the middle of the field, and Keon Sapp's got to be about his business. And he got to be able to topple those tight ends This isn't Brock Bowers we're dealing with anymore. I feel that Keon Sabb needs to have an amazing game, whether that's bringing down a running back in space, whether that's tracking Stockton down when he's running the ball, or whether it's batting passes away. Keon Sabb's got to be doing something too. And that's my personal opinion. And I also think, just for one more on offense, we're going to need Caleb Edwards to be huge. I feel like Caleb Edwards is going to be catching a pass and stiff arming one of those Georgia linebackers, and it's going to be the front page of the Alabama freaking paper on Sunday morning. It's just going to be 81 on one of them Georgia linebackers. Okay, now I'm done.
I love the Sabb. I do love the Sabb call because while they don't have Brock Bowers, the Delp kid, and even the backup Lucky, number 7, they look like those Georgia tight ends that can make plays over the middle of the field. So it's going to be a big, important day for Hubbard and Sabb. Dan, now the world is your oyster.
Okay, when you talk about Daniel Moore moment, listen, man, this is a perfect opportunity for somebody to etch their name in crimson flame. This is a perfect setting. You know, we got the background, we got the canvas. The canvas is Athens. You know, and I think this moment, and it is no way too big for the guy I'm gonna say. And that guy is none other than Ty Simpson. I expect Ty Simpson to have a huge game, and this is where we're going to see Ty etch his name in the Heisman race.
Love this answer. Love this answer.
I just see it. You know, this is a Ty Simpson moment. You know, you gotta love it. You know, I expect Ty to come in and play loose. You know, and I expect him, you know, to have his Heisman moment in Athens.
I love that answer, actually, because I do think this is a moment like for Ty to prove that all the talent that we've seen, that he can do what Alabama greats do. And that's when the big game, when it matters most. And that's what, you know, that's what puts you in Alabama lore, right? Is when you make that Daniel Moore moment. You make the strip against Miami, even though that wouldn't count. But you make the Jay Barker off the back foot to Sherman Williams against Ohio State. You make the Roman Harper hit against Tennessee to get the fumble. Yeah, it's that moment, man. And I love that. I do. I like Ty. I like that answer. I like all the answers, and I think these other guys have to step up. But as far as the Daniel Moore painting, I do think Ty Simpson lighting it up and between the hedges would be a beautiful one to see. Good stuff. But before that happens, guys, before we can draw Daniel Moore's about the great victory in Athens, I think there's a key position that has to answer the bell. And I get it. Kick the shit out of Wisconsin. I don't care. They got hammered by Maryland at home this weekend. Doesn't say much. La Monroe, whatever. We haven't been punched in the mouth since that day down in Tallahassee. And we're headed to Athens now, and they're going to play some smash mouth football. And you started this, and I'm going to let you go with it, Lou. You got your finger up, and I think it's more than.
I want to say that before everybody answers this, I formulated this question, not just the Georgia game. When I say SEC physical, I mean like for the rest of the season. This isn't just a button they're going to have to flip. This is a question: can Bama be SEC physical moving forward, not just against Georgia? I want to make sure.
Got you. But I tell you what, it would go a long way in giving us a little bit of hope that they can, if they can't do it against Georgia, right? Because you're right. You can't just do it one game. You got to, and that's this generation. You got to be consistent every Saturday.
That's why I said that, because last year they did it against Georgia, and what happened the rest of the season?
Then what happened? But man, there's some guys. You mentioned it, Lou. Number 10, number 0. There's some fellas. Look, 41. Like I get you. You come over from Colorado. You looked a little bit better last week. Marvin's really high on him, and I trust Marvin because he played linebacker at Alabama. But my fanned eyes tell me a little different. I I'm going to have to see him do it against Georgia again, not Wisconsin and their beat up offensive line. So let's start it, Lou. Can this linebacking core step up starting this weekend and carry it out throughout the season? Is it in these kids?
I think that every single linebacker at the University of Alabama has the ability to be SEC physical. Now, whether that is a want remains to be seen. Do these linebackers want to be physical? They're on the field. Kane Womack puts them on the field. The question remains, do they want to be physical? Do they want to inflict the hit, or do they want to take the hit? So far, we've seen a lot of our linebackers take some hits. And going forward in the SEC, that's not something that can happen. That's not something that Alabama's ever been as far as linebacker U. We got Butkus Award winners. You know, Derek Thomas, Rolando McClain, C.J. Mosley, Reuben Foster. We're talking about absolute maniacs, you know. And then we got guys that didn't, win the Butkus. Cornelius Bennett, Dante Hightower, C.J. Mosley, Rashawn Evans, Jahai Campbell, first-round draft picks. Right. These guys were all physical SEC linebackers. Miko Ryan. I mean, I could go on. I got a whole page doc full of them. The fact remains is we have this lineage on the damn wall in the locker room of all these great men. And our men in the locker room have not taken that step to want to be an Alabama linebacker. There's not I know that Lawson's on the field and everybody's got a great opinion of him. He's a great young man, but he is not a killer. He has not shown a killer instinct. We have yet to see that killer instinct in our linebacker room, which in turn, if you're an offensive player and you see that the toughest people on our team are in our secondary and our linebackers aren't smashing people, that's going to be a problem. That's why everybody thinks Alabama's soft, because our linebackers aren't going around decking people. They're getting run over by receivers. They're getting run over by 190-pound running backs. Now, I do think that this is the game that is going to be, if they have it, it's going to show very quickly. And if they don't, it's going to show very quickly, because this is a game where people are going to get punched in the mouth. They're not going to do anything pretty. They're not going to disguise much. They're going to line it up and they're going to put it right in front of their face. Now, Lawson has actually played well against Georgia historically. I want him to be a killer this game. Can the Bama linebackers be SEC physical going forward? They have the ability and they have the scheme. I'm getting tired of people saying that it's the scheme problem why these linebackers aren't performing. If you look back,
nothing to do with physicality.
No, it doesn't. Because if you look at Womack's defense, the last time he ran it, 4 out of his top 5 tacklers were all linebackers, and they were all getting tackles for loss. So the fact that last year we only had 79 tackles for a loss is a direct effect that our linebackers aren't taking it to anybody. If our linebackers want to take it to somebody, then they can be SEC physical. It's not about all these other things. It's a very simple thing. Do you want to make contact or do you want to get contact? It's that simple. And I think that getting Tim Keenan back is going to be a key to that, because I think he lights a fire. Like, he takes a little bit of pressure off Deontay Lawson and having just to be a leader on the defense. I feel like when Deontay Lawson has to lead a bunch of people, it takes thought from his play and his aggression, and he's thinking too much. You put Tim Keenan out there to kind of keep these heads on where they need to be and allow Deontay Lawson just to see ball, get ball, which I think is the best Deontay Lawson. I don't think he should be the Mike. I think he should be the see ball, get ball guy, because he's not making contact with people in the hole. He can play, he can run people down in space, but he's not making contact like these linebackers. He's not Jahai Campbell. Like, Jahai Campbell come up and just hit you in your and not feel bad about it. I believe Justin Jefferson has that ability. Now, Nikhil Green, to address that, When he came in, I was probably one of the biggest fans of this dude because he was absolutely destroying people when he was at Colorado. Some of the most bone-crunching hits I've seen since Reuben Foster, to be honest with you, what I saw. But we haven't seen that at Alabama. So, homie, if you're playing timid, you need to stop. This isn't the game. This is the SEC. You came to this league to knock the shit out of people. So go ahead and knock the shit out of people. I mean, what better game to do it? We ain't been down there forever to permanently put your name in the Alabama books. Go knock a freaking Georgia's running back head off because you're going to get the opportunity. You have to play physical because if 41 doesn't get it done and they put 36 on the field, we might not see 36 come off. And if it gets to that point where 30 got to go on there, I feel more confident that 36 and 30 are going to hit somebody in the mouth before the other three. If I'm being honest, just because of the play they've shown, they want to go hit somebody in the mouth. I thought linebackers wanted to hit people in the face. I mean, that's what I thought a linebacker was. To be a linebacker, you got to be a tough guy. You got to be an asshole. You can't be a nice guy and be a linebacker. What the hell does that sound like? No. You got to be a tough guy. You got to be a badass, and you got to be mean. And we got the fact that I've seen more mean and bully from our two younger backers. That should send a straight signal to those three older seniors that have been in college football for 4 and 5 years that they need to knock somebody dick in the dirt or step aside and let these young guys play.
Well, Van, somebody gets to follow up that heater, and the honor's yours, sir.
Wow, thanks. But to answer your question, can they be physical, SEC physical? Absolutely, they can be. We know what kind of talent they've got, but will they be? $1 million question right now. And until they prove me different, I have a hard time believing it. I'm just one of the people you got to show me. We've talked, and the coaching staff talked up everybody. And I heard a lot of good things about the linebacking group. And then we watched that first game, and Florida State ran through their damn faces. All right. And they didn't have an answer for it. And they looked tired, and they looked beat up, and they looked weak. And then you fast forward to the Wisconsin game, and Womack tweaked some things to try to get some more pressure. And he created some variants to improve the pass rush on passing downs. He did a little more traditional blitzing from the middle linebacker. And, it was a shift that seemed to work. It got them involved. But it always seems to me like it's what they call in the coaching world paralysis by analysis. Or in Alabama layman terms, if you're thinking, you're stinking. All right, so if you're out there second guessing everything, you're overthinking the play, you're playing slower. And Lou already alluded to this earlier, but I wanted to delve into it a little further because that's what I see from them. They're in their own head too much. And especially when you get to the inside backers, this defense, they're the nerve center of this defense. And this defense is designed to give them freedom to go out and make plays. And they're not getting that done because they're playing in their own head. And when you're half stepping into the hole and, you're going to get run over. So you're not being as physical. You're playing slower. You look like you're out of position. So that's one of the things I see with Lawson, with Hill, Justin Jefferson. His missed tackles in this year are concerning to me, especially the first ball game. He looked like the Minnesota Vikings in the early 90s trying to tackle Barry Sanders. Like just missed tackle after missed tackle after missed tackle. And so I'm glad Lawson is a great communicator, but I need to see him lead by example. And I need to see him step through some guys, knock some helmets off, rough some guys up. That's what Alabama defenses do. So I can't say you're part of the standard until you create your own version of the standard. I'm going to keep it short and sweet because Lou wrapped this up. And I know Dan will have something good to say, but they got to stop over it. I would rather see them not necessarily know what to do, but do it 100%. Go full speed until it clicks. Saban used to talk about that with the process. Until it clicks with you, you play 110% as fast as you can and try to make something happen until you're comfortable in your surroundings and settings. So that's what I want to see from these guys. Quit being so robotic and step up and make plays.
Dan, put the cherry on top of this linebacker sermon, brother.
Yeah, that's what we talk, like the physicality part of it. But another thing, too, is what's concerning me is a lot of times we're, like Lou said it earlier, our tackles for loss. We're not meeting guys in hole. No what else goes into that, not just physicality. Film study. Trust your instincts. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Trust your instincts. Georgia is a very simple offense. It's simple. You got to trust your instincts. You got to be there on the run fit. You got to trust your instincts. You got to be there. Quit avoiding contact. You contact. You got to play physical. Run through guys. Run through the block. If this guy pulling, you run through him. You run through him to get to your guy. So I want to see more plays made in the hole. You know what I'm saying? I want to see them, cracking heads and helmet. That's what I want to see. I'm kind of frustrated with the ankle diving, your arm swiping. I want to see. It was earlier in the game. Who was it? One of Georgia's linebackers. Was it hit on Aguilar? Who was it? Yeah, I want to see that form tackle. I want to see the other guy go backwards sometimes. So, and Lou, I know you talk about as far as the rest of the season, but the season it's right here. It's right here Saturday. Because if you don't do it Saturday, whatever you do the rest of the season doesn't matter. So the season is Saturday is the season. That's it. That is it. That is our game to take. We don't have enough angry guys. We need some guys with bad disposition. We talk about disrespect will be handled accordingly. Let's handle it. Kids now, they get more upset about something somebody say on social media. Rather than something somebody say on the mic to your face or whatever. That don't bother you. But you'll get upset about something that somebody said on social media. That do whatever you got to do to get them mad. But I want to see an angry Bama team Saturday. That's what I want to see. I want to see controlled violence. So I mean from everybody, not just linebacker, from everybody, the safeties, the D-line. I want to see some guy with bad disposition. I still want you to play discipline, but I don't want to see any smiles on the other sideline when it's over.
I think maybe Kane Womack and Caleb DeBoer need to take it all the way back to the schoolyard. Y'all remember that game you played? You started playing football, and eventually you just started hitting the dude with the ball. I think that kids today have gotten so far away to what the actual object of football is that they just need to just wind it back and reteach them. Teach them what this game truly is. Teach them this game is won by a harnessed aggression into a team effort. But you have to be aggressive. You have to want to go hit people. This is a hitting sport. You're wearing pads because you're going to hit somebody.
Yep.
And you're not supposed to help them up. That's why they have pads on. I just want Alabama to go in there and play like Alabama football. Like it, if like it wasn't written on the walls in the damn locker room, literally, I wouldn't be so like harping on the fact that I still have not seen that Bama aggression this season.
What
from the whole entire team.
What you're harping on, Lou, and this is where, look, we joke about me being a double agent, but me being a double agent, and my love for Alabama and understanding, but also my objectivity is probably what puts me in this seat. And this is I'm gonna be as objective, double agent, petty as I can be. Growing up on the Ole Miss side of the things, the thing you respected so much about Alabama, you mentioned it, Derek Thomas, and we could go through the ages. Cornelius Bennett.
Dude.
There's a standard of excellence. Dwayne Rudd. Marvin Constant would have been a first round NFL linebacker if he didn't blow his knee out against LSU.
Absolutely.
Like D'Amico Ryans. I mean, we could go for days. Andre Royal, Derek Oden, Ralph Staten. Let's fucking go. I mean, this is LBU. So, from my outside perspective, the admiration I had for what Alabama linebackers were was the standard. Let's screw the Bama standard. It was the standard in football for what a linebacker was supposed to be. And then you get to the Saban era, and it's just tank after tank after tank after tank. And this is where I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is a prove me wrong moment. This is a prove me wrong game because I don't believe in them right now. I don't believe in this linebacking core. I don't see the Alabama linebackers I've watched my whole life. And please God, I want to come on Saturday night on a post-game show and say, that's Alabama football. I was wrong. It was in these kids, but I haven't seen it yet. And I want it. And I'm not trying to, I mean, I'm great kids, whatever, new era, but you're getting paid a lot of money. I want to see it on this football field. So it's kind of going in what you're saying, Lou. It's like, this is Alabama. I don't see it, and I want to see it. So this is a prove me wrong moment, kids. Like, and I say that because I do believe this is one of the biggest keys to the game. If our linebacking core starts getting bowled over, it's going to be a long damn night because Stockton's going to be able to make plays with his legs on third down. They are going to be able to make plays. If the running game is going to get going and it's going to be off balance. This is a moment where we talk about, even in the last segment, who's got to stand up. I do think Ty can have his painting moment. But if Alabama wins this game, it's because Alabama linebackers played like gosh damn Alabama linebackers.
I agree 100% because growing up watching Derek Thomas, I was too young. I wasn't born at the right time to watch Thomas play at Alabama, but I got to watch him play as the Chiefs, and that made me want to play football. More specifically, made me want to play defense. The way he played with a reckless abandonment, full speed, knocking guys around. Same with Cornelius Bennett, man. Like, that's what drew me to the game. It wouldn't, and no offense to Matt Caddell, but it wasn't the wide receivers and the celebrations. It was guys that went out there and knocked heads and doled out punishment and got up and wanted to keep knocking guys out. And that's what made me love football, man. And we've seen the game change in the physicality standpoint across the board. Rule changes, spread offenses have changed what defenses can and can't do. And I'd be lying if I'd said that my love for football hadn't diminished just a little bit because of the lack of physicality in defensive play, because that's what I love the most. But I really want to see Alabama step up and do something, especially from the linebacking position. So can they do it? We'll see.
Keith Holcomb, that 92 defense, damn right. Derek Oden from Hillcrest High School, number 56. Ralph Staten, some bitches that would knock your dick in the dirt.
I got a question.
Go.
So, like, going off like what Van just kind of said, like, if you want to state about the player, like the true players of coming up watching defenses, like, I grew up, if you want to watch a linebacker play, like, just watch Ray Lewis. Like, that dude embodies a linebacker. And to be fully offensive,
mentality.
I don't even think we have a body type that's played meaningful snaps in our locker room that has anywhere near that attitude as a middle linebacker. I don't know when the position of middle linebacker became, hey, you're going to be the nice guy on the defense. I don't know when this happened, but I think that they don't know what a linebacker is supposed to do because there hasn't been one at Alabama to show them. Jahad Campbell was an absolute stunning freak show. But if you look at before that, we haven't had a linebacker that's been an Alabama linebacker since Rashad freaking Evans.
Mm.
And that's been damn near a decade at this point. So I think that there's a serious issue with they don't know what it means to be an Alabama linebacker truly, or a collegiate linebacker for that point, because you can't say that they don't have what everybody else has. When I turn on the TV and I'm watching kids from like Oklahoma and kids from other schools go out and just absolutely murder people, it's like, damn, what Alabama used to do that no matter who was on the field. And it was the whole entire room, no matter who got out there. I just don't understand when that energy left the middle linebacking room. When did it become acceptable for our middle linebackers to get run over? And I agree with you guys. If Lawson, Nakai Hill-Green, and Justin Jefferson don't bring their hats and don't bully people, we're gonna lose this damn football game. Agreed. Because Kirby will just run it down our throats just on a standpoint that, oh, we beat Bama, beat out physical to Bama. We made their linebackers our bitches, for lack of a better that's what their goal is. And if our linebackers play like they've been, that ankle grabbing, you can't ankle grab SEC running backs and expect to bring them down. You can't arm tackle SEC skill players and expect to get them down. Our linebackers have to hit people. And furthermore, the game's been made soft. I understand that. But to hit on an earlier point, if the game would have been made soft back in the day, do you think Ray Lewis would have got soft? Do you think Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs would have just said, okay, we're just not going to hit people anymore? No, they would have figured out a way to hit people. There is a proper way to hit people. They never said you can't hit people. They said you can't lead with your face mask. You got a shoulder. You got a shoulder pads. They don't put enough of an emphasis on how to tackle people. If they put more of an emphasis how to tackle people, football would still be physical, because you can still be physical in the parameters of the game. We see schools doing it.
Watch Oklahoma.
I don't know if it was Oklahoma, but there was a hit this weekend where a dude absolutely got form tackled and then slammed. And I'm just like, holy shit.
You can't
call targeting because he hit him with the shoulder right in the chest. There's a way to play football. These kids just need to do it and be physical about it. Quit making all these excuses that, oh, the rules changed. Oh, we can't do this. Oh, we can't do that. You can still play football.
Yep.
You can still be physical. They never said don't be physical. Not once in the world did I ever hear an ump, a ref, a coach, anybody say you can't be physical. So the fact that we're not being physical, that's a them problem. So until they fix the them problem, we're still going to get run over.
But for you to say that about the linebacking group and that you hadn't seen that in a while tells me it's a culture problem.
Yeah.
There's a mentality that's not there. I mean, 6-0 mentioned it, and I'm not going to just start naming off linebackers all night, although that would be a fun show.
Man,
look, dude, come on. Mike Singletary back in the day for the Bears, bugged out. You know, you'd see his eyes look this big. That was his life, dude. Like, his going out and punishing people was what he lived for. Like, where's that mentality? Like, can we not bring in some former Alabama players to try to encourage that in the locker room again? And I know that's a complex system, but something has to be done. More, though. I need more of it. And if these guys can't get that mentality, if they just can't do it, sit their ass. Straight up.
That's it. You know, sometimes you got to be willing to make an example out of your better players.
Take the cell phones away in the locker room, damn it.
Please.
Like, it's a football space. Learn your craft, because I guarantee you no one's perfected shit in this Alabama locker room yet, especially on the defensive side of the football. You don't need to be doing TikTok dances in the facility.
Nope.
Work your damn craft. Because I guarantee you, if we keep getting our tail handed to us, you ain't going to be at the University of Alabama showing your ass like that. They're going to get you out. And they're going to get players in there that want to play, that want to play for the state, that want to go out and hit people, that put on the uniform just to go knock them fucker out. Because that's why I played football. I didn't play football just to be cute. You want to be cute, go put on a leotard or something. There's plenty of places around the country for that. But if you want to step on a football field, you better have some aggression. You better have some assholeness to you. And you better want to inflict pain. And you better be disciplined about it.
I agree, Jeff.
I don't think any more could be said. And linebackers we're going to see Saturday night. We got a couple days, and there's going to be a lot of questions answered. And we come out victorious. I think we're going to like the answer again, but you got to keep it up, guys. Been a banger. We got days coming up until Bama, Georgia, but we got a few questions from the audience to answer before we get out of here on this Tuesday night. Joe Edwards, what can the defense do to close the middle to keep the running up the middle? You've been harping all this all night, Lou. The middle.
Tim Keenan gonna help with that.
Yeah, I think Tim Keenan will do a great job.
Collapse the pocket.
I honestly don't think they're going to try to run it up the middle against us. They know that we got certain players that can't set an edge to save their life. I think they're going to attack that rather than run it. I mean, I know Tim Keenan just got back, but they also know the type of player he is. I don't think that they're going to attack that right away. I think they're going to try to attack the outside because if film says that, yeah, you can run on us in the middle, but you can gash us running off the corners.
And they've shown that they're going to attack where weaknesses are. Good question.
Exactly.
All right, Joe Edwards. Why Womack cannot make adjustments throughout the game?
That is $1 million question there.
Is that he can't make adjustments or our linebackers just can't execute a game plan?
It ain't just the linebackers. It's a lot of time we simply – you look at that Tennessee game, but I don't know, man. You look at the Vanderbilt game.
Yeah, but it's not like they weren't they just didn't make the plays. Lawson was there in the film to bring the dude down per near every time. He just didn't do it. You can only take a horse to water so much.
That's the thing, man. I think the system works with players. It's players. Players matter. It freaking matters. But
QB Reese went out there and was having a ball. I don't know if you can't put it. I'm not putting it all on Womack's scheme because if our linebackers were going off tearing people's heads off, and our defense was still getting gashed, then it's the scheme. But until our linebackers be physical and knock people's dicks in the dirt, you can't really put it on Womack for not making adjustments if Bama linebackers aren't playing like Bama linebackers, in my opinion. If they were hitting people, we wouldn't be having this discussion. If our linebackers were physical, he wouldn't need to make all these different changes to avoid these players from having to make ankle tackles. Like, it's not him telling them to go out there and make ankle tackles. That's them doing it,
Look, football is a game of chess, no doubt. And there's no perfect scheme offensively or defensively. There's always a counter. But two things that you can't coach are physicality and effort. And we've seen a lack of both, especially from the linebacking group. So there again, I can't sit here and blame Womack scheme or what he wants to run or say that he's not making adjustments because I'm seeing guys that aren't making plays. I mean, let's start with that. Let's make the main thing the main thing. I'm not going to bury the coordinator because the players are half-assing. Can't do it.
I'm gonna tell you why I would though.
Interesting.
If you're not a coach, if you're not coaching it, you're allowing it, and they're allowing it. You're allowing the same guys to do this.
That's a good point.
But that just goes back. But that can be tied into why we were in the situation last year with what we were in. So that's
I know what you're getting at. Yeah,
I hate that shit, Dan. Yeah, I really do.
That question, man. This question, that's a whole show, to be honest. B Jammin, does the own road noise determine pass first run?
Mm-mm. Down and distance wheel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amen to that, Dan.
It may change how you signal to the other players, but it's
Yeah.
not going to change what you want to do.
No.
Christian Love. Coach
That's
O
a
said
good
the
one.
way to beat Bama was yo football.
Yeah, 2019 when we didn't have a
Tigers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
star-studded
That's bad. You
secondary.
said Coach O said, and I went into how he said it.
Coach.
You think
Coach-
2019 is to spread them? You think 2019 LSU versus Bama tape is the roadmap to beat Georgia? That's actually a damn good question, Christian.
I think
Yeah,
Coach
because
O.
you think both secondaries are horrendous. So
Right.
that's a blueprint.
But no, that is the roadmap. You bring back Joe Burrow. You get
Chase, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson.
you get two of the best receivers to ever walk in college, Jamar Chase. Yeah, I mean, and that's how you beat Georgia.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Spread them out.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, a hurt Tua still almost toted us to a win in that game. So
Yeah.
You did.
Put Ryan Williams back outside.
Oh, let's be also real. That was a pretty damn good Alabama football team. That was some Titans in those days going at it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, LSU was great that year. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but
Take
there's a
away.
reason
Secondaries weren't.
No,
away.
absolutely not.
The
And Coach
secondaries
O's not
were-
coaching for a reason. Because
No,
first of all, he may have said this. The best way to beat Alabama is spread them out, but it's because his offensive coordinator figured it out for him.
Someone told him.
That's what he said. And somebody said, what? And then they went and asked the offense coordinator. I mean, that's the truth of the matter.
He's just proof that you don't have to be. I mean, you can just assemble something and it work. But he
I don't even dislike the guy. He was a great character, just like the previous coach there was a great character. I miss some of these characters.
No,
Coach
he's a dipshit and not a real good person.
See,
So.
I'm sure there's a bunch of them. One walks the
like from the
plains.
days at Ole Miss.
Ask anybody that's been his neighbor. Ask all the boosters. One of the reasons he got fired because one of the people in administration's wife that he kept hitting on at LSU. But like that moron, someone had to tell him, Van. I'm with you. It was probably his offensive coordinator. I'm a big Joe Edwards. Do you think Carroll needs to start instead of Formby? Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there is three things that you ever learned from me this year about Alabama football, I hate Tennessee.
The Manning family.
Mannings.
Number 20 should never be on the Alabama football field in a defensive capacity again. And most importantly, Michael the Boss Man Carroll needs to start at right tackle moving forward.
Yes.
Because there's a difference. Ty Simpson, when 75's out there, is flirting with somebody in his ear all the time. When 64 out there, he got a lot of space to operate. The ball comes out a little bit cleaner. The run plays are a little bit more spacious. So, yes. A resounding yes.
And I'm going to go a step further with this. Roberts works better in tandem with him when he's on the field. They look better together. Go back and watch the film against
Because
Wisconsin.
they're athletes.
Yes.
Formby don't have good feet to me. What was that? I don't know.
I believe Crimson. He might just be a good green dot. Oh, do y'all think he's a good green dot communicator? I'm assuming
Lawson.
No.
Might be. But shoot, you had
showed up.
We're in year 2 of the green dot. You had a whole year to get somebody to groom somebody else forward. I mean, really.
I mean, yeah, I don't really know. He hopefully.
I believe Crimson. When does college football catch up to the fact that the kids that get paid the most don't have the same drive to get to the NFL as the underrated guys flying under the radar? Holy shit, that's a whole nother show too. I mean, I don't, man. The reason I say that is because I think I could I could contradict myself on this because I think I could talk on so many different sides that, I mean, in some locker rooms, yeah, that is the case, but in some, I mean, you're not having problems with the motivation. Kids are showing up and playing. You don't see them having problems with outside of the law problems. You don't see Kirby having motivational problems. You don't see Dan Lanning having motivational problems. You don't see these old school Saban. So I don't know. I think this, but on the flip side, there are kids that are getting paid, and I mean, what's once you getting paid right there? What's your motivation to go to class? Hell, I had a hard time with motivation going to class, and I'm still paying it out of my ass. If you'd have given me $1 million, I'm not sure you could have got me to darken the doors of finite math across from Tutwiler. The only reason I wanted to do it then because it was across from Tutwiler. So
You gonna bag him an escapee?
Dude, when I passed that class and kicked the damn door open, you never forget the face on those girls that were sitting out there smoking. Scared the shit out of them. But still, I don't know. This is an onion of a question, if you ask me. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah. It's layered. I think there's a mixture of both, but I mean, you've seen that throughout history. Look at guys like Jerry Rice at Mississippi Valley State College, or
Walter Payton,
Jackson State. Guys fall through the cracks for whatever reason, and then they go pro and they're so good they can't be denied. And for every guy that we've got on our team, there's guys that I don't think deserve a penny until they step up and play. But then you look at other teams and they got players that are getting paid and they're going out there and they're earning it. So it's a layered question. It's a great question, but it's not one easily answered.
All right. Paul T. Which team has the most talented roster? Shit. I mean, you're talking about the two of the handful of teams that recruit in the top 5 for the last decade. So this is it splitting hairs, or is there a clear favorite here, guys?
No, it's a clear favorite.
There's a clear favorite.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Bama.
No. It's
Bama.
Freaking Bama.
Look at the blue chip race.
Outside the D line and the linebackers, we are murdering that roster.
Yeah.
Just wanted to.
just no.
Brett Favre fell through the cracks because he played in his dad's dumbass offense and never threw the ball. And they were all convicts and pieces of crap, and nobody wanted to be a part of it. There's your answer, Paul T. It's Alabama. Sorry, I was just joking, fellas. Just wanted to get y'all fired up. Jeff Stapleton, do you see Ty getting more comfortable in the pocket?
Yes, clearly.
As of lately, or as the season progresses? Because he went 17 to 17 in the last game. He was almost perfect too. He's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
He's dealing.
He's getting it. That's where reps come in. At you got to. That's why sometimes you got to be willing to be patient with guys.
There's no substitution for experience.
Right.
You have to experience it.
And he's gonna get an experience this Saturday because Georgia's gonna.
That's why you can't give up on 5.
They're gonna give him simulated pressure. There's gonna be creepers. There's gonna be outliers. I mean, he better learn to get used to being comfortable in the pocket because Georgia's gonna show him some things. I just hope he's gonna step up and show them.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
That's it.
Guys, it's been a hell of a night. I'm going to do it real quick, man. It's been an hour and a half. I've done now 4 straight hours of shows. My mind's numb. I'm hungry. But it is 3 of the ball over the tundra. Hey, man, it was 2 degrees and he beat Favre's ass. And also was the greatest run in playoff history.
Yeah, you look at Plaxico Burns, what he did in that game, man.
2007.
We can't do this to Lou. Look, it's Georgia week. We're getting final thoughts on Bama, Georgia, not on Eli being better than Brett Favre's criminal ass. Lou just left. But come back, Lou. All right, Bama, Georgia. Get your ass back in here, Lushan. We're not going to do it to you.
I'm not talking about the so-called first family of football ever.
The Good family. I still stay with that.
Let's talk about the first team of college football, and that's Alabama. Let's give some final thoughts. What we expect Saturday night in Athens. Let's do this quick. Like I said, I got to eat something before I go crazy. But Dan, I want to know what y'all think. What are y'all expecting to see? Tide gonna roll? We nervous? What? Final thoughts, Dan? Go.
Yeah, I expect it to be a track meet to start. Surprisingly, I expect it to be a track meet, but it's gonna settle down the second half. Teams gonna try to eliminate mistakes. It's gonna be a close game. I got Bama 34-28.
Love it. Nothing but the Tide, baby. Lou, let's hear it, man. What do you honestly, let's dig down like truth serum. The Veritas serum has gotten into you, and this is what you expect to see Saturday night.
I think we're going to see a little bit more defense. I think we're going to see some field goals. I think the major X factor in this game is going to be Cam Calhoun on defense.
Nice.
I think Bama rolls in an absolute slugfest. An absolute slugfest. I'm not saying a track meet. I'm talking about a 12-round heavyweight.
17-14.
I'm not gonna give a score because I don't do the whole score thing. I'm not. It's gonna be a fight, and it's gonna be a fist fight for 4 quarters.
I agree whole freaking heartedly. Van, same thing. Veritas serum. What are you seeing Saturday?
Look, man, I'm not gonna lie to these people, and I won't lie to myself. Am I nervous? Yeah, I am, because there again, I can't get the thoughts of Florida State out of my mind. And the physicality they brought to us and our inability to counter it. So, as a fan, of course, everybody on this show and this chat is going to always root for Bama, win, lose, or draw. But I have to be honest. They've got to be better than we've seen them be all year, because Georgia may be the best team we play all year. And so they're going to have to play damn near perfect to beat Georgia. That's what it takes. Just like it used to take to beat Alabama, you got to play damn near perfect. Now, are there kinks in that Georgia armor? Absolutely. And we've talked about them all night, and there's some glaring ones. But we've got our own. And, so do I hope we step up? Yes, because this could be a building block towards salvaging this season and maybe getting into the playoffs. But if they come out there half-assing it, getting run over, getting pushed around, if the linebackers don't show up like we've all talked about, it's going to be a long night, boys. So, as far as score predictions, I'm not jinxing Alabama. I'm not making a score prediction. It's going to be a tough football game. That's all I know.
Yeah, and I'll end it with the Harvey Two-Face Daniel Petty answer. Like, there's the Bama side of me that expects history. I do believe in the things of college football. Like, certain programs have like their heels that they can't beat. Georgia struggled. I don't care. They've been the best program in college football the last 6 years. They still struggle to beat Alabama. That side of me says, man, history and all that shit matters. Georgia struggles when that Crimson team shows up on the other sideline. Don't matter where it is. We go between the hedges. They put on all the black. It can rain, whatever. Kick that crap. So there's that side of me that I do. I've seen it too much. You play the records enough in your life, you expect to hear the same song. I expect Alabama to go be Alabama. But my eyes that are connected to my football brain have seen what they've seen the past couple of years, and it's not that what we talked about earlier. The linebackers aren't the linebackers I've grown up to know. They're not. Can we answer when Georgia throws that punch that Florida State threw? And that's where the other side of me, the football brain side of me, says, man, I'm really cautious. History tells me one thing. the big history tells me one thing, recent history tells me another. So a lot of questions, man. I don't know what I'm very curious. I'll say that, and I know that's not the prediction. Everybody, Bama 17, like you said, I don't want to put a number on it because I'm going to make myself look like a fool because I really don't know what I expect. The Bama mythology and history to come out and kick Georgia's ass, or the kinks in the armor we've seen come out the last few years that, if we're going to be real, that are really there.
Real quick, magic number's 30. When teams seem to beat Kirby, you hit that 30 and up mark as far as points. Something to look forward.
So Bama gets to 30. That's the magic number, ladies and gents.
It's not a guarantee, but that's usually.
No, you said it. Dan guarantees if Alabama scores 30, y'all win. So Bama wins.
Don't do that shit to me. Don't have them show up in my house.
If we score that many between the heads, I like our chance.
Yeah, I tell you what, if Bama puts 30 up, I'm liking the Tide's chances. Look, we can make the mythos about Georgia, and that's the other thing. This is a new era of college football. We watched them, and I'm sorry, it is what we have to go on, Lou. I know you hate, but the what we've got to go on is they got run up and down the field by an offense that I think Alabama can replicate. So, and I'm not sold that Bama doesn't go up there and
say that.
Because
compare us to Tennessee in my presence.
God bless you, Lou. All right, guys. Roll Tide. We will be back here next Tuesday night. Lou, we're going to go around, pump our shows. Dan, you go. Lou, talk about what's coming on Saturday morning here on this network, post-game, all that good stuff, and then we'll go around the horn. Dan, follows, loves, all that stuff.
Yeah. Y'all hit me on X at Final Whistle Dan, Instagram, Dan James the 4th. And catch me right here every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, right here at the Final Whistle. I appreciate you guys taking your time out to spend with me.
Lou. Well, Van, you go, and I'll let Lou finish up since he's got all the shows to pump.
Y'all can catch me here on Tuesday nights. Other than that, I'm hard to find. Kind of a hermit. I like to watch a lot of football, mostly by myself. Because, I ain't trying to hear nobody else talk. So, other than that, you'll catch me on Tuesdays or you ain't going to catch me. So, y'all just keep showing up here. If you like me, if you don't, run me down in the comment section. But hit the like button on the way out. I don't give a shit.
Lou, finish it up. Sorry, getting amused by Jeremy's rhetoric here in the chat. Lou, don't read it because you'll hop out, get mad, and all this stuff.
Yeah, don't read it.
I'm catching
you guys are
know that, Lou. I'm
all right. You guys can find me on Facebook, Lucian Graves. On Twitter, 456 The Final Whistle. My other one was scrolling in the bottom. But on Saturday morning, join us 8:30 a.m. Central for the Saturday a.m. Scramble. We're going to be going through all these different top matchups. This is probably the most exciting weekend of college football I've ever seen. So many top matchups. We're going to get into it. I got a couple panelists that we get real detailed about the gambling line, what's going on, the teams, and playoff implications. It's a great fun time. Everybody come out and join us. And after the Tide gets done taking care of them dogs, join us for the Final Whistle post-game show, the Ivory Room. We're going to break down everything that happens against the dogs. We're going to give you the unadulterated version. I know Van will be there. Hopefully Dan and Petty can join us too, because this is something we're going to need to be completely honest about. It will be right after the game. So go ahead and tune into the Final Whistle Network on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. We got a bunch of stuff heading for you.
Good stuff. Absolutely. So hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the great Final Whistle content that is coming your way. And guys, more than anything, huge week. I know we're all excited, but more than anything, we appreciate all y'all's time tonight. Jeremy Sanders, Keith Holcomb been with us all night. Biggs. I'm going to have to go through a little bit. Mitch Gilly, just to give some love. Moonrock is showing up. Chris Camp, Jeff Stapleton, Paul T. We appreciate all you guys. I know, man, Efron, man, everywhere. For any that I've missed, we appreciate y'all. We hope y'all have a wonderful and safe rest of your week. And
that guy right there.
Roll Tide, roll. No Eli. Look, this is all. Look, I'm with y'all guys. The double agent is on Crimson time right now. We don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. So let's finish the Georgia week on how we do this, guys. Roll damn Tide.
And we don't give a
damn Tide
piss about nothing but the Tide rolling.
RMFT.